Oh, didn't see you there. Just practicing my karate moves. Anyway, welcome. So today we're going to be discussing the movie Fight Club. And I'm just going to start with the spoiler alert. We are going to get into an important detail of the film, which if you do not want to hear, and I suggest you won't want to if you haven't seen it already, go and see the movie and or read the book by Chuck Palahniuk that it was based on, and then come back and watch this. So, let us begin. They had meant to kill two birds with one stone, use a piece of public corporate art to destroy a franchise coffee shop. Everything went as planned, except that a cop shot Bob right in the head, killing him instantly. This would be one of many operations within Project Mayhem. Okay, so why is Fight Club still relevant today, 25 years after its release? Well, it has something to do with anarchy and the fact that we have been living in anarchy now for as long as I can remember. We'll return to that theme later on. First, I just want to discuss what postmodernism is. Now, so for a work of art like Fight Club to qualify as being postmodern, it has to meet at least a few different sort of guidelines, let's say. One is that it's self-referential, and what that means is there are going to be moments throughout the movie when it's obvious that the director is telling the audience that he or she is aware of this as a film piece of art. Also, the characters and the plot itself could be fragmented. They go back and forth between different time periods. And another important aspect, of course, is what's referred to as Ouroboros. It's this ancient image of a snake eating its own tail, consuming and being consumed by itself all at once. Now, there are really, in my view, only a few movies that accomplish this in such a sophisticated manner, and Fight Club is definitely one of them. So that's a little bit on postmodernism. Now, is it possible to call Fight Club a romantic comedy? Now, most people would probably either call it a postmodern film, a dark comedy, or existential, but I think it's all of the above, including a romantic comedy, and I'm going to tell you why. In the very first 5 to 10 minutes of the film, director David Fincher, he kind of provides a few hints at Brad Pitt's character Tyler Durden just being a figment of Edward Norton's character's imagination. And he does this with a few shots of just very quick, so quick you'll miss it if you don't pay attention, which I did the very first time that I saw the movie, at least 15 years ago, is Brad Pitt appears for a split second, not even a full second on the screen. And then, of course, at one point, he's actually on the escalator, one of those walking escalators in the airport, when Ed Norton is taking one of his many flights to the cities he travels to for work. And so you see him for probably at least 2, maybe 3 seconds, Brad Pitt just kind of passing by. And again, this is in the very beginning. We still have not officially been introduced to Tyler Durden. Okay, so when I watched Fight Club again a few nights ago for the first time in, 15 years, I actually found myself laughing out loud multiple times. When you know that from the very start Tyler Durden isn't real, it's actually kind of hard not to laugh at some of the dialogue between Marla Singer and then, of course, Tyler Durden / Ed Norton's character. And part of the genius of this film is either way, whether you know who Tyler Durden is and that he's fake, made up, or if you're still convinced he's a real person in the film, either way this is going to be a roller coaster, because by the end you'll find out the plot twist, which of course is a great reveal, or if you're aware of it the whole time, you actually, you can enjoy it in a different sort of way, because for example, my experience was I was watching Marla Singer, and the very first time I saw this movie, I didn't know who Helena Bonham Carter was. Phenomenal actress, of course, but I was like, who is this grimy, despicable creature who's just like walking in the middle of the street, ready to get hit by a car and die at any moment? And I have so much more compassion for Edward Norton, because I'm like, this poor guy just wants to get some freaking sleep, right? So Marla to me was just like the parasite in the film. Then you realize, like, I'm watching this now after having, not seen it in a while, thinking, wow, I have compassion for this character because she actually is just starting to fall in love innocently with this crazy lunatic insomniac. And I actually start to like feel, something for Marla and really feel for her as a person, because she here just wants a healthy relationship actually at the end of the day with a guy who is maybe capable of a healthy relationship, maybe not, we don't know. So again, what precisely makes Fight Club relevant today? Honestly, I don't see how it could be more relevant in 2024. So one example of this is when Tyler Durden, in one of the scenes, he drags a store clerk named Raymond from the liquor store outside to the back parking lot and at gunpoint. And in less than 5 minutes, Tyler Durden shows us the absurdity of society. So he asks Raymond what is Raymond doing with his life, and he's, of course, Raymond's just like, he doesn't want to be killed, so he's just panicking. He's like, I don't know, I was going to go to vet school. So Tyler's like, veterinarian school, okay. All right, in 6 weeks, if you're not on your way to becoming a veterinarian, then I'm going to come and kill you. He keeps his driver's license, and that's that. And then, cut to next scene. I don't think, knowing Tyler, I don't think he really had any intention of killing him. I think that actually what he wanted to do is give this guy a wake-up call, which is to say, we don't have much time on this earth, right? And we need to stop wasting it as if we are actually under this somehow seductive spell of complacency. Which leads me to part of the genius of this dark and violent film. That with the exception of Bob, or Robert Paulson, who does get shot in the head, no one dies. Well, that's arguable at the end, but I'll leave that up to debate. But besides Bob, nobody else dies in the film. So Project Mayhem is not about murder, it's not about rape, it's not about suicide bombings. It's about sending a very clear message, which we hear from Tyler constantly. One of the more poignant scenes, of course, that points it out would be during that rich banquet dinner when they, collectively gather and grab the older gentleman who's, some government representative, I guess. And Tyler just, they get him on the floor, they threaten to hurt him. And he says, quote, "We cook your meals, we keep you safe while you sleep, do not fuck with us." And to me, that's anarchy at its finest, because you don't need money, you don't need a bribe or some negotiation to, influence these elite people. The way to combat the rich is to target them exactly where it hurts, in the testicles. So that's a little bit on Fight Club, and I want to continue this because I'm so glad I rewatched it. It's still in probably my top 10, if not top 5 favorites. So yeah, I look forward to continuing this, and thanks for joining. I'll see you on the next one.